Hello, and welcome to another episode of Imperial Galactic Survival with your currently titled host, Akiva. I have 5 builds from the workshop. We are going to be taking a look at them, and I will have a question for you guys at the end, so stick around. Because there's something here that I don't know, for sure. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get started. And the first one is The Dream by DP Burke. Burke is featured a lot on this channel, apparently. DP Burke 2. This is a CPU Tier 4 SV. Features shields, 6 minigun turrets, 4 railguns, 4 pulse lasers, 4 homing rockets, 4 Gatling guns, 2 cockpits, 2 passenger seats, and a warp drive. Concept. The Dream was started with wanting to build an arch into some of my builds. The very first Dream SV built around this concept was actually a starting SV back before CPU was a game mechanic, so a large starter was just a matter of collecting sufficient materials. When CPU came along, suddenly I was faced with the fact that the Dream was just too big. Then when we got turrets for SV, I looked around my blueprints for the SV most likely to accommodate 6 turrets. The Dream was rebuilt as a gunship, and a secondary pilot seat has been added to the neck of the vessel behind the cabin doors for practical gameplay, unless you have passengers in the SV. The whole front cabin is expendable. Okay, there are a couple of brilliant concepts about that, and a couple of things I want to touch on. So, repurposing a build that you had from before you knew something, and then just going back and repurposing it. Great work there. I like the fact that you built it in to have a expendable nose, like nose tanking with an SV is a valid gameplay mechanic. The other thing that I like is that you had an idea and you just ran with it. I love that. Sometimes I'll just have the vaguest of ideas, like a simple line, like an image, a simple line in my head. Like, I want to build an SV around this simple line shape idea I have in my head. And the fact that you did that in a wonderful way like this, absolutely great job. Adapting builds through multiple updates, again, another kudos for that. Now, let's go ahead and get started. So this build, I like the paint scheme. I'm not a big fan of pink, but it is done well here. You've got the pink color, and then you've got a contrast to work on. Great work. I like having the weapons out on pods like these. It gives you a little bit more redundancy. Great work. And these weapon pods out here just work. I can never make weapon pods work, and you made them work here. Great job. Oh, nice. Okay, so you have cargo separated out into different groups. That's wonderful. And then you fit the warp drive in here. I am a little bit worried about chain reactiveness because, yeah, this is all bunched together a lot, but considering that the whole front nose is expendable, I'm gonna give a pass for that. This is my fault. I spawned this in RE and had to replace the RE SV turrets with the Gatling turrets. So that's my fault that wasn't painted correctly. This is not the author's fault. In the back here, I love the way that you've got the thrusters laid out. This is just wonderful. By the way, this is made for vanilla, and is a great little vanilla ship from what I'm looking at, and the thruster profile on it is amazing. So let's take a look at the statistics here. No smart. Oh, there is some smart grouping here. Yeah, these 6 go in that group. That's my bad. I didn't fix that before recording. So even in Reforged, these are the pitch and roll schematic. The pitch and roll. Yeah, so this thing is going to be a twitchy little beast in vanilla, and that is absolutely amazing. Great work. CPU statistics, let's not do it that way. Let's go over to the CPU. This is tier 4, it's already stated, but I want to check something. Yep, tier 4. Okay, I like the fact that you have this separation between these colors, so it looks like it's separated, but it's just kind of an aesthetic separation. That's pretty cool. Now let's take a look at the internals. So you have your 2 passenger seats here. You have the stuff that you need to access quickly right inside the doors. I like that. You've got a little battle bridge for the SV because it's a big one, and then you've got your main cockpit here. I like the use of these blocks and these textures here just to take up the extra space. And they look like, I don't know, they look like little cubby sections for like your drinks or something. Who knows? Signal logic, great work. And yeah, that's just a cool little build. I'm glad you decided to publish it and texture it finally, because you did a good job. Next we have the UCH Hyperion Escort Corvette. Now, this is... the description for this one is, and let me make sure that you're actually looking at the SV, or excuse me, the CV while I'm reading this out. This made this as a smaller one-man Corvette in the UCH style. It only needs 1 person, but can accommodate a crew of up to 3. Pretty decent sized captain's quarters, which can also serve as a lounge or recreational area. Has unique insert, inlaid, or recessed, whatever you want to call it, embedded fighter slot. And yes, I read that verbatim. Fighter slot. It fits my planetary scout perfectly. There's a link in the description for that as well. That goes with the ship. It's not included in this video, sadly. I can imagine other smaller fighters may also be able to dock inside it. 2 retractable autocannon, 4 retractable sentries, dedicated hoverbike bay, repair shop, some cargo space, dedicated ammo controller, and separate ammo box as well. T1 polarized shield, warp drive. Link to the planetary scout is in the description here. Since this is meant to be a support vessel, it is not really designed for long-range deployments, so it doesn't have any constructor, deconstructors, furnace, hangar, repair bay, hydroponics garden, or anything like that, just the basics. Made in vanilla, no mods. Not tested in RE1 or RE2 or any of the other REs or whatever mod scenarios people use. Now, that's an interesting point in the description, and I can test it for RE, because we have it right here in RE, so I'm going to go ahead and give you some feedback here, and I will also write in your comments. By the way, this is made by evil_doc on Steam, and there will be a link below. So, what caught my eye about this is just the dedication to a single role that this CV is. And I like this. I really do. So, going into the... I don't know why I'm doing that. I shouldn't be doing that. I like the fact that these thrusters are on pylons that are actual practical pylons, because you got your cannons here. And I like that they follow the UCH style of thrusters, placing thrusters in housings. It's great work with that. Use of capacitors, I like that. I'm not sure if these are capacitors or if they are meant to be radiators. That's the word I'm looking for. And then you've got your capacitor things over here. I like that. Okay, just double checking something. You've got your detector here, and then you've got this, so you could put an RE2 detector on here, like a long-range detector in that slot, because it's already there. This bay here, that's meant for the fighter that goes with it. And he built it around that little SV fighter. I like that. So if we go in here, It's very quick access to the bridge. Oh, not very quick, but it is pretty quick access to the bridge. The bridge is pretty exposed, but that's alright with a scout vessel. And then you just go back here and you got the lounge. Very cool. Down, I like the use of these stairs because they're texturable. Oh, that's a nice use. Got your little teleporter there. I don't think this is on a signal though, so that's going to drain your power quick. Might need to add a signal to that, or a signal block above it so that it turns on when you're on the pad rather than, yeah. Anyways, that leads outside where I just came from. Over here is a bunk bed inside a small little cubby hole. You've got access to the shower here, there. Facilities there. Another one there, apparently. Okay. I don't know why we need access to two of those and have it right next to the kitchen, but that's just the healthcare worker in me, but that's fine. Somebody worked in healthcare, that just like, no. In here, it looks like you can install some upgrades. Maybe the warp drive, I'm not sure. I don't know why you wouldn't have it. No, I don't know. And then you have access to your engineering here. And then out here is access, ground access. I don't know why that door is not opening, probably because I'm lazy. And you've got your gravity generator there. You've got the secondary ammo box here. So the reason I like having an ammo box like this on a CB is because you can put all the ammunition for like the really light ammunition that stacks really high in there. And it's just a great way to save some container controller space. I don't know what goes there. I don't. Maybe that's some extra CPU parts? I don't know. There's the ammo box. There's 2 seats. You've got another access hatch here. Yeah. Very nice little ship. You have all your explodey stuff away from it. And I don't know where the warp drive is on this, so let's see if we can find it. Oh, there is no grouping on this, not even auto grouping. Okay. Where is the warp drive on this? Because usually people will put, how do I say this? People will put shaping around the warp drive, and it adds a little bit to it. So I'm curious to see where that warp drive is. Show on HUD. Is it because I have my HUD off? Yeah, it is. That's my bad. So the warp drive is over here. Oh boy. Yeah, never put the warp drive surrounded by a crap ton of fuel tanks. This is more fuel tanks than you need. Yeah, just replace these fuel tanks with a line of steel blocks and you're fine. And make sure that they're not touching these tanks. Aside from that, I don't really have any critiques on this thing. Anything that triggers me or anything that worries me about this build, aside from the warp drive being next to like tanks. I mean, in vanilla, and using this as a scout, that really shouldn't be an issue. It just gives me the willies a little bit. So yeah, anyways, great build. And for RE, let's take a look at the CPU on this. Let's just take a look at the CPU. Yeah, this is fine. And then I'm going to auto group. I apologize, but I need to see this. So you have your wrong one. So you have your basic and your 2 improved. So yes, this will work for RE2. In vanilla, you don't need that extra basic extender. It will work. Excuse me. It might not work in RE2, but it will work in RE1. So I can say that it works in RE1. So I'll leave a comment and say that it will work in RE1, and it's a great little build. Let's see. Next we have. Oh, whoops, forgot one. So, the author of this one, the Roughneck Starter SV, this is intended to be your starter SV and has dedicated spots for 4 mechanical drills. So, let's go ahead and get these. These are meant to go here. Before I do that, let's go ahead and pull up the workshop description. I'm getting ahead of myself. So, this is the Roughneck Starter mining SV by Nexus, spelled Nexis. Nexus Industries is proud to present the Roughneck Mining Starter SV. The Roughneck Starter SV is designed to be your first spaceship, helping you get started in the game and unlock at level 5. It's a no-nonsense, cheap as chips ship, so you get off the ground as soon as possible, while still looking stylish. I like that. I would even go so far as to say this should be your first vessel you invest in. Skip building a hover vessel. 100% agree there. And get this in first. It will save you a lot of time. It will save you a lot of time. Where I'm sorry, I lost my place. It will save you a lot of time in game. The ship comes with no drills attached. Unlike in the pictures, this is to keep the cost down on Cobalt, as there is none on the easy starter planets. Use the Roughneck Starter SV to get into space, mine a Cobalt asteroid with a hand drill, and then add your drills and mine your way to your first CV. The ship also has space for a small constructor marked on the underside of the ship with the CON. With CON. Simply remove the blocks and place a small constructor. Roughneck SV comes equipped with space for 4 mechanical drills, space for 1 small constructor, O2 station, cargo box. Excuse me. 2.8 harvest container, 2.8K harvest container, excuse me. 1 spotlight, 1 detector, and a Wi-Fi. I have a feeling this was built in a custom scenario. Yeah. So I looked at this, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn the HUD back off. I looked at this and I liked it. It's a smart little ship. One little note here. In vanilla, you don't have SV starter drills like this, so I have a feeling this was built in RE1 or some other modified scenario. Because in vanilla, you don't have these drills for SVs. You have them for HVs, but not for SVs, for some odd reason. Another piece of feedback that I have for this is you could get away with removing one of these landing gears to lower the cost even more. Lower the cost to get in even more. You can slap the constructor there. It's just slapped on the outside. And not sure what you put there, but it'll work. I like the fact that you can just slap something on it. It's fine. Oh no, that I'm thinking right. I'm a nutter. So I'm gonna turn on HUD again because I suck at this game. So basically what you're meant to do is you're just meant to pick these 3 blocks up and slap the constructor there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the constructor. So you put the constructor there, and then you also put the drills there. And then you're good to go. This thing is upgraded, and you can go mine. I love that. Great little work. Great job. Thanks, Nexus, for building this. It's fun to look at. And I hope to see more from you. I should say that about everybody I do reviews on, and I sometimes forget. I apologize. Yeah, it happens. So this one is the CA Midnight. It is by Code Alpha. Code_Alpha. Now, there is no workshop description for this, so I will go in and take a look at it. This is made for vanilla, based on... Yeah, it's made for vanilla. This is made for vanilla. You've got a warp drive on the inside. I'll come back to that. I was just double checking something. And what caught my eye about it was just the shaping, the thruster placement, and these big honking space gun, RP space guns that you put out here. Now, I imagine that if you had turret limits turned off, you could replace these with actual guns if you wanted to, but or maybe you can upgrade it. I have a feeling that this is made based on what I've looked at it, and I'm gonna double check this now. let's see here. We've got core systems, and yeah, it's T3, made for vanilla, which means that there are a lot of constraints. So you can upgrade this to T4 from what I'm looking at here, and you can add more weapons there because it's just basic. Yeah, this is just really, really basic. I imagine that it's meant to be your first starter combat CV based on this. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. I love the fact that you have these thrusters in these pods. Great work. You also have room for more side thrusters and something in there. I imagine fuel tanks in there. Oh, I like this. That's very good. I don't think it lands properly considering that the big honkin' turret here is there, but I'm not really worried about that. You can just park it on the front of a carrier vessel. It's fine. Alright, the other thing that caught my attention was the glowies. I mean, if you want to catch my attention on the workshop, just add glowies. I mean, it is what it is. I'm a sucker for the glowies. So let's go ahead and enter via the hangar. I'm not sure why both of those didn't open at the same time, but okay. Oh, this is cool. Just gonna fix this real quick. I should have. I really should have done that from the get-go. Anyways, there we go. Now, yeah, that's cool. Yep, this is upgrade area, so you can you can put either more container controllers there, or you can put some more fuel tanks in there. That's cool. SV hangar, and again, you got your upgrades on this side. Utility access corridor that leads you straight to the bridge, I imagine. Well, intuitively to the bridge. It's not straight to the bridge, but it's intuitively to the bridge. Oh, I like that. You've got your officer's mess in there. That's cool. I like the use of the new consoles. Great work there. I like having. I think that armor locker is more RP than it is practical because there's no exit right there. Oh, that's not an armor locker. That's just a container controller. I think. Yeah, that's RP. Got your generators down here in the middle in a protected area. Not sure what this room is for, but that's all right. Got another entryway there, and I got lost, but that's not hard to do. Ah, there's the other elevator. So again, we were over there. You've got more room in the core room for some upgrades. And you've got your gravity generator in there as well. Then you've got an elevator that leads down to the ground. And that's it. That's the internals. I mean, you've got your shield over there. Oops, I'm clipping again. My bad. And you got your warp drive over here. I don't see any issues with this build. It is a smart layout. I mean, the interior design could use a little work, but I mean, all of them could. So even mine can use a little work. So I'm not gonna fault them for that. Smart little layout. It feels like a little. It almost feels like a sports car of a combat ship. I haven't really made that. I haven't really said that about any ships, but it feels like a sports car. Anyways. Yeah, great builds. Make sure to go look at it on the workshop. Now, lastly but not leastly, we have the Imperator. Now, this one, I'm not sure what scenario it goes to, because there's no description on this one. It's made by Blackleg Sanji. It's not RE1. I can tell that just by the shaping and by the spaces. But it's not RE2 either, and it's not vanilla. I think it's Reforged Atlantis, but I don't know for sure. So My question to you is, do you know what this is made for? What scenario this is made for? Let me know in the comments, because I am genuinely curious. So let's go ahead and get started. What caught my eye, of course, with this one is the glowies and just the level of shaping that is put into this ship. You have a lot of, like, this one makes use of, I'm wanting to say this one makes use of some of the, like, Venator shell bits that I use on some of my builds, the same ones I got from the workshop. But at the same time, I think this is made by hand. So I don't really know. I have a lot of questions on this one. So one thing that I really like about this is the lasers on the front that are in this sort of housing. It makes great use of glowies and then these blocks and then the half blocks shaping. And to be honest, I might just steal this type of shaping for a future ship. I mean, this is freaking cool. One little piece of feedback that I have here is the fact that all three of these laser cannons are the same. They're right up against each other, and they're not staggered in any way. When you put manual fire weapons like this together, you want to stagger them, like these two are staggered. So you have your laser cannon here, and then this one's staggered one block behind it. In order for all of these to fire correctly, and for the damage to register on the enemy ships, you need to stagger this one block further back, which you can do, I think. No, I don't think you can do that with the block shaping there. But you can push this one down here forward one, or that one forward one as well. I don't know. I don't really have a good fix for that, but it's something that I noticed. Now, the other thing that I really like about this ship is just the use of pipes, the smart use of pipes. I normally don't like pipes. This one uses them well. And then the tiered / staggered turret layout on the top. Most ships, people think of boats, and they model their ships off of boats, like navy boats, where you don't have any defenses or hardly any on the bottom. Now, in a sense, this is good, but in other sense, it lets you leave out. Now, the reason I bring this up is because this person thought about that well. So the bottom of the ship is used for these drone spawners. Now, particle effects here, so I don't know. It might be RE2, I don't know. But there are just... The reason I don't think it's RE2 is because this person would have had to go in and modify the files so that the quant limits were off, or the CPU was off. So, I don't know. I really don't know. Now, we're going to go in from the bottom here. This is, I imagine, where some upgrades go that I'm not seeing in this scenario. This is for aux cores. At least I believe they're for aux cores. And then over on this side, you've got your CPU and warp drive for some reason. You've got your pentaxid tank, some CPU, and your warp drive. And then there are some CPU blocks missing. Now, I don't know why you would put your warp drive right next to your critical CPU components, but it happens. And you got your shield over here, along with, I imagine, yeah, I don't know what's supposed to be there. But this is an amazing build anyways. Then you've got your fusion core, so it's got to be a modified version of RE2. Or a modified version of RE. That's all I can say. And then you've got room for... your, I imagine, shield chargers of some sort. And the reason I think they're shield chargers is because when block IDs get messed up, you have this thing where it just converts it to another block when you spawn it, or it just converts it live on a server. It's a headache type of thing, But yeah, these spaces remind me of shield charger spaces. Next, you have your actual... I should stop saying that word. You have your battle bridge. And this is your internal bridge. And then you have your main bridge up here. And I clipped through it to get here, but yeah. Oh, that's a good view. That's cool. Got a little sidetracked there. I think it would be beneficial to have a quick access ramp there. But again, that's just me nitpicking. And there should always be a quick access point on the bridge. You should never have to go through a rat run to get out. But anyway, speaking of that, here's one right here and right there that I completely missed. But it is a point that I'll make. I don't know why that light is there. I have a feeling that that's meant to be a map table or something. Maybe a crew member or a map table. But yeah, anyways. I like the fact that you have your basic medical here. Great work. Yeah, I imagine that was a repair station. And some other utility items. Again, I think this is... The more I look at this, the more I think it's RE Atlantis. But again, I don't know. So let me know in the comments. And go take a look at this. This could be converted to vanilla very easily. And it would be a very powerful vanilla ship. And it's one of those no limits ones that I just absolutely love. I don't like having limits on build, on our creativity. Like, there are practical limits and then there are scenario creator imposed limits. I don't mind the practical limitations for game performance, but I don't like when people impose them on us, if that makes sense. Like, scenario creators impose them on us. It's just like, I don't like that. But anyways, I love this build. Great work. I hope to see you guys next time. Remember to go down in the description of this video, click on those links to these Steamwork items, and give them some feedback, guys. I will be doing that myself. Make sure to do it too, because the more feedback you give to these guys, the more thumbs up, the more they're going to be promoted on the workshop for the good jobs that they do. And good way to build this community, positive feedback. And I want to see more of that from you guys. Have a great day. Hope to see you again next time. Thank you to my patrons. Thank you to my patrons. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Remember to be kind to your fellow human. And that's it. Banshee out.